Om Shanti. So this month's Avyakt Ishare, or Avyakt signals, are all about unity and faith, imbibing the virtue of unity and faith for success. And success, what success do we need right now? So the success we need right now is that we can give the message of Baba's arrival and the truth that Baba is giving his inheritance to his children, to every child of Baba. That is success. And Baba says that for that task to be completed, souls have to be attracted to, Baba's children. And when will that happen? When within ourselves we have unity and faith. Now you see, what happens when we don't have unity? Then there is conflict. Yes. And when we say unity, it is always unity in diversity. Yes, so it cannot be. So some people have this fancy idea that we will all be like each other and we will all be the same, but we are not same by design. Yes, so you see, no two souls are the same, and we are very different from each other by design. And this is the first thing about knowledge that Baba tells us. And I remember that when I took the course, then I understood that souls are not equal. Yes, and souls are not same. And souls are unique. And we can either be unique or equal and same. So, so it is very interesting that we believe in both these ideas. In the world, people say there should be equality and everybody should be the same. But then we also say that uniqueness is a very good quality. But you can either be unique or you can be the same as another one. And Baba says we are all unique by design. So it cannot be that we will have unity because we are like each other. You have to have unity despite being nothing like each other. And that is a very big challenge in a body conscious world. Yes, because the language we speak is, I am always right and you are right only if you are like me. Otherwise, you're wrong. Yes, and then what happens is, when in your mind, as soon as you create this thought, you are wrong, then the person who is in front of you, they and you come into conflict. Because as soon as you create the thought you are wrong, then they also create the thought you are wrong too. And then there is internal conflict. And conflict is a very big instrument for waste of spiritual energy. And have you seen, because you see, we have all experienced what it is like to be in conflict with each other. Even if the conflict is not physical, even if it is very in the mind, but all it does is waste your mental resource, because you are constantly creating thoughts which are of negative or waste quality, and then you are creating scenarios, and you are fighting within yourself with the other person, and there are so many, you are giving arguments, winning arguments. There is so much that goes on, and it only wastes energy. And even when that, and nothing, nothing that emerges in the mind stays in the mind alone. It again comes into action, and when it comes into action, then it wastes not only the spiritual strength but also material resources. And ultimately, you see, the goal is conflict resolution. And I have seen there are many people who stay in conflict lifelong. And then what happens is their whole life becomes about, that other person, and their whole resources are dedicated to that one person they say we don't like. So this is very interesting. I remember that there was this one brother, and he had a conflict with his brother, and then there was so much dispute regarding a property, that even on the deathbed, this person couldn't stop thinking about his brother, and he kept, abusing his brother, and thinking badly about him. So this is the thing. Even if you talk to anybody who is in the judiciary, if there is a conflict and you take a suggestion from them, I've always seen, they will tell you what you can do in case of a conflict, but they will also tell you one very important thing. They will tell you, you know what, it is best if it can be solved outside the court. I have seen, very, very wise people in the judiciary say that any conflict resolution, if it happens outside the court, is a very good idea. So otherwise, if you can't solve it, then we will tell you what to do. So you see, this is the thing about conflict. Conflict is for nobody's benefit. It benefits nobody. And Baba says that right now in the Brahmin family, and also so again, you see, not just in the Brahmin family, but in whatever context we are, we have to be conflict free. And there has to be this. So when you're free from conflict, that is the state of unity, I think. Yes, so unity is not, not a very beautifully painted scene where everybody is in perfect harmony, and not that kind of a Satyugi harmony, but then where there is no internal external conflict, that is called unity. Because when you are bogged down in conflict, when you are, in that swamp of conflict, your resources are not your own. You cannot use them for self progress or seva. And this is why Baba is talking a lot about unity right now. And Baba says, what do you do for unity? So how do you create this atmosphere of unity where, if you have this conflict-free mind and you create a sangathan, you create, or everybody who is with you, you are all free from conflict, then, that vibration of peace that you radiate, because when the mind is free from conflict, then there is peace. And that peace will draw everybody towards you. And for that, Baba tells us, first thing, we need the power to accommodate. And what is the power to accommodate? So the picture in the power to accommodate is so many rivers are coming and falling into the ocean, and the ocean remains unchanged. So, because the ocean, it is the quality of the ocean that it is very deep and very wide. And because of that, any river, whether it is dirty or clean or big or small, it can accommodate every river inside itself. And Baba says that you need that quality of being large hearted in order to accommodate. And what is being large hearted? So, when you're soul conscious, you're large hearted. Yes. So, when you are body conscious, then you see everybody, the power to accommodate is always there, but it is limited. The interesting thing about body conscious is when you're body conscious, also you have virtues and powers. It's not like you don't have virtues and powers. But when your consciousness is limited, your virtues and powers are also limited. Yes. So when Baba says move from body consciousness to soul consciousness, it means moving from limited to unlimited. So look at the qualities. You see the quality of peace or love. So, if you're body conscious and your idea of peace is, I find peace in this particular place. Yes, then you find peace there. But if you have this idea that I cannot be peaceful when there is noise, then you cannot be peaceful. So you have peace, but it is limited to certain people, certain situations, certain circumstances. You are loveful, but to somebody, not to everybody. And when you're soul conscious, then you are always peaceful because peace is my quality. You are always loveful because love is my quality. And similarly for the powers, when you're soul conscious, so you see, when you're body conscious also, you have the power to accommodate, don't you have? Yes, parents are so accommodative of their children. Yes, the children could be, I remember, there was this one parent I saw, and their child had every possible, defect that one could think of. He abused, he lied, he stole, he cheated, he did drugs, he did everything under the sun, whatever you could think. He was an alcoholic. And then, when the mother spoke about the child, she said, my child is the finest and the best one you can find in this world. It's just this little habit he has. And then I had not met the child. So when I first met him, I said, you are a very good mother. You love your child too much. And you see, this is the kind of power to accommodate we have. We cannot see the defects, we cannot see the shortcomings, but when we say this is mine, yes, and Baba says when you change that, and it doesn't happen overnight, when you change that with a lot of effort, you put in a lot of effort to become soul conscious, and you arrive at that place where I am a soul and every soul is my brother's soul. And anybody, however different they are, their differences from me doesn't mean that we are no more brother souls. So we are brother souls anyway. When you start getting this, then that power to accommodate emerges for everyone. And only when you remember the Father will you remember that we are brothers. You cannot remember we are brothers until and unless you remember the Father. So this is why it is said that when you remember Baba, your powers unlock themselves. So Baba says that you need the power to accommodate. And when you have the power to accommodate, then your internal language is, you're different from me, but you're not wrong. Yes, and when that happens, then they're also, if they also have any thoughts about you, that, you are wrong or any kind of conflict creating thoughts, those thoughts will also cool down. Yes, so this is very important. And second thing is, when you talk to anybody, when you come into contact and communication, have the drishti of love and greatness. Yes, look at everybody as a great soul. Yes, and Baba has told us that we are all great souls wearing ordinary masks right now. Yes, and just like, sometimes in Brahmin life, I have this thought, that nobody knows who I really am. And and if you have this thought, it's very interesting. You feel like, we are and Baba always uses this word incognito, and we are very incognito. We are like, we used to hear these words, there was a prince in exile, and he was dressed very ordinarily and nobody could recognize he was a prince, and all those stories are of this time. And we are all great souls in very ordinary appearance right now. And if you have this Swaman, then you also have this, vision that you don't really know who the soul next to you is. Yes, that soul could be a very great soul. And come into interaction with that vision that, maybe right now they are playing a very ordinary part, but you don't really know who they actually are. And this is a very good thing. And, I remember there was this was very interesting. So there was this sister, and I was very new in Gyan at that time, and I was just sitting in the room where Didi was talking to many other souls. And there was this sister from class who came, and she told Didi that this soul who sits beside me in the class, I don't like her, and she's always, making sounds in the class, and sometimes she dozes off, and she started speaking like this. And then, Didi said, who are you talking about? So she said, the sister who sits beside me. So Didi kept asking, who are you talking about? And she couldn't get what is wrong with Didi. Why is she not understanding who I'm talking about? And then she said, I don't know her name. I just know she comes and she sits beside me, and she always comes late, so I cannot choose where to sit. I'm sitting and she comes and sits beside me and she disturbs me. So then she said, but who are you talking? I'm not asking her name. So then this sister got very confused. Then I was also sitting there. I also didn't know the right answer. And then Didi said, you are talking about a future deity, right? You're studying in the same class. You are here so that you become a deity, and she's also there to become a deity. So you are talking about a future deity. So at least talk with respect. So then this sister, she came into attention that, yes, this is not the language in which I speak. So you see, if you just remembered, and I do not know how many of you have seen magic shows But I have seen very practical magic in Baba's Yagya. And I have met many souls who you meet 10 years back and you find that they are very, very ordinary. And then 10 years later, you meet them and they have changed into something else. Yes, and you can see that divinity. And and this is magic that happens. So never have any ordinary consciousness for Baba's children or any soul, because you don't really know how they will. This is the age of transformation, and how they will transform in some time, you will never know. So Baba says that look at, and I remember, there was this one Kanya I saw, and she was so imperfect when I saw her a long time back. And recently I saw her, and she has changed into one of the finest we have. And it is always amazing. And whenever I see these things, I just go and tell Baba, Baba, you are a magician, and you are the only one who qualifies to be called a magician. And Baba says that you have to have this attitude of respect and this vision that everybody is a great soul. And then you will not come into conflict with anyone. You see, when you reject somebody, it's because you are not trying to understand them, and you are not accepting that you also might not have the ability to understand everything. But your inability to understand someone or understand something doesn't mean that that is wrong. We are so full of egos that if I cannot understand somebody's thought process or behavior or something, then I just reject it. But the thing is, no, maybe I don't have the ability to understand their intention or understand their behavior or understand their thoughts, but there might be some good intention behind it, which I don't have the ability to understand. So you have to understand that we are all projecting ourselves onto others. So when you understand this gyan deeply, then you have no tendency to reject anybody in your thoughts. And you look at everybody as okay, their opinion, their idea is also as great as anybody else's. But it's just that it's different from yours. And when you live in a sangathan, this is how you live. Yes, this is how you have to operate, because we are all different specialities, different defects. Our specialities are also not like each other, and defects are also not similar to each other. And then third thing Baba tells us is always focus on the qualities. Yes, don't look at the defects, because right now everybody has qualities and everybody has defects, but focus on the qualities. And when you do that, then the vibration inside you will be that of a lot of internal harmony. There'll be no conflict. And then externally also, you will create an environment of peace where every soul will be drawn towards Baba. And Baba says this is the method to success right now. And and you have only one mind, you don't have two minds. So you cannot do what Baba is saying only in the Brahmin family. Because when you are in the Lokik family or you are in your workplace and you pick that vibration of conflict from there also, then that vibration will radiate when you are operating as a BK also. That is your vibration now. So do this in any context you are. Use the power to accommodate, have the drishti that of love and greatness, and look at the qualities of everyone. And we have this very bizarre idea of perfection. And, you just like everybody to be perfect. And who is perfect? The one who is like you. Yes, so, or fits into your idea of perfect. But Baba says, no, it's not like that. And you need to work on yourself to develop this attitude. And it requires constant self talk, constant counseling, constant correction. And only then can you do this. And it requires a lot of yoga power, a lot of consciousness shift from body consciousness to soul consciousness. So, this is one thing. Then Baba today says that you will not be able to remember Baba if you have not imbibed the points of knowledge. Yes. And Baba says that, you see, our yoga is knowledge based yoga. Yes. So we are having Gyan Yoga. And until and unless I imbibe the knowledge, I cannot have remembrance of Baba. Why are we struggling with remembrance of Baba? Why is remembrance of Baba such an effort? Because we have not imbibed knowledge. And you see that when anything flies, then, there has to be some circular movement below it for it to lift itself up. And that circular movement is knowledge. Until and unless knowledge churns in your intellect, you cannot have the flight of yoga. So you need knowledge, you need purity, and only then can you have yoga. And this is very important to understand. And Baba today says that I give you the introduction of myself, and I give you the introduction of time. And until and unless you have imbibed the knowledge that this is the time to create your future, this is the time to take your inheritance from Baba, and that is your priority. Yes, this is your time to create your imperishable fortune. And until you have imbibed this, your buddhi will not detach itself from the perishables of this world. So just think about why am I more concerned about some scene of drama in which there was loss? Why am I not concerned about remembering Baba and earning an income? Because I'm not yet convinced that whatever I'm crying about and wasting my time and energy and thought on is perishable, and this is imperishable income. So, one needs to imbibe this knowledge that this is the time to remember Baba and earn your future income, or, accumulate your income. And Baba today tells us that any obstacle comes, yes, it is a test. And do we understand that test? Many times, we have heard this many times, that whenever any obstacle comes in Brahmin life, it's a test. But what is the test about? Is the test about crossing the obstacle? How well you crossed it? Or how fast you crossed it? What is the test about? So that is something that Baba talks about today. Baba says that, even if you don't, so any obstacle, the interesting thing is whatever scene comes in the drama, no scene stays forever. However you deal with it, it has come and it will go. This is the truth. But when we say it's a test, it means that when the scene came and it went, that happened according to drama. You have got nothing to do with it. Until that time, in that intermediate time, were you in remembrance of Baba? Or did you forget Baba? And that is where the loss or gain, that whole shift happens. Because sometimes, maybe there is an issue. Let's say there's a big obstacle, there's a big disease in the body. And then you went to 20 doctors and you took treatment, and that disease went away in 3 months. And then you are very happy that you passed the disease. But the thing is, you failed the test. If you were worried in that process, and if you forgot Baba in the process, or your remembrance of Baba changed to prayers. Instead of remembering Baba, you started, begging to Baba. Then that is very body conscious. Then you went back, we are ascending, right? We have to go from Copperage to, we have to go from the Sangam Yug to Satyug, but you receded back, you went to Bhakti. So after Bhakti there is Gyan, right? So from Gyan you have to go to Sadgati, but instead you went back to Bhakti. So that is not passing the test. So one has to think about how much I have imbibed knowledge and whether I understand that remembering Baba and doing my seva, this is my ultimate goal. Yes, remembering Baba and seva. These are the two things that are making me burn my sins and earn a future income. If I can focus on these two things all the time, and nothing can stop me, and sometimes, the method of seva will change. For example, when we go through physical illnesses, then maybe we are not able to do physical seva. But then, did I stop mansa seva also? Did I stop service through the mind also? So, okay, I couldn't serve with, with the body, or I couldn't use my voice, but did I serve through the mind? So, Baba says that you have to always check whether you have understood that all that matters right now is seva and remembrance and nothing else. And if that is your priority, then you have imbibed knowledge. And when one who has not imbibed knowledge that this is the end of Kali Yuga and this is the time of establishment of Satyug, and if you have not imbibed this point, you cannot focus on establishment. Your intellect will be drawn towards the Kali Yuga that is going to be destroyed. So these are Baba's teachings today. Om Shanti. Anybody wants to share anything, please do.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
I had a question. You said that all souls are unique. They are not equal and same. In Paramdham also.
Yes.
That's why their positioning is different.
Yes.
Okay.
And do you know that in the Gita, in the scripture Gita, they say that every person should be aware of their caste duty. And they are not talking about human beings, they are talking about souls there. And every soul's caste is different, some souls are ordinary souls, some souls are deity souls, and some are So there are souls who come at different points of time, and some are warriors in their first birth, so they come in the Kshatriya kul, some come in the deity kul, some come in different religions. So according to that, we are different, and that is why, Baba always says that you have to remember you are the senior ones. And this is a very important thing to remember, that everybody is not equal, and we are the senior ones, so we have to be responsible. Okay, anybody else wants to say something?
Om Shanti
Om
Devi.
Shanti.
There are many points to imbibe today, and I like many points, but there are 2 points which I would like to highlight for myself. Any obstacle in Brahmin life is a test. Today, Papa says that, but the test is like till the period when it came from and it left. In that intermittent time, was I in Baba's remembrance? So, if I was in Baba's remembrance while passing that phase, then I passed the test.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And second was when the mind is free from conflict, may it be internal and external, the vibration that is radiated from the soul is of peace. And that is what is required in creating a Satyugi era.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.